Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. Remember, we are live and taking phone calls. You can reach us at 800-808-5548. You can also reach us out on Facebook. If you're out there, all of our Facebook fans and friends, go out there and like us. And more importantly, Joe is monitoring our Facebook page right now as we sit here.
Yay,
if you have
Joe!
a question, you can put it right there online. He'll read it
Although
right
somebody was
out
talking
live.
to me about Kung Fu on Facebook.
Yeah. Kung Fu, okay.
We know, Chris, who else, and Joe, we have here in the house is a Cindy Whiteside. She is with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. Welcome, Cindy.
Another relocation expert.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Start spreading the news.
Yes.
We're relocating today.
Oh, cool.
Now, that is a great Rat Pack theme. I like
we
that.
got the demure and shy Cindy Whiteside with us. And Cindy
CDs will be available after the show for a nominal fee.
Lynn, actually, I'd gone to Lynn Breedlove, and I said, Lynn, who do you have that's a really good relo agent? And she sent me an email and said, you need to ask Cindy Whiteside. So evidently you all had go back a ways, have done business together when you all were at the same company. And so we're really excited to have you here. So let's talk about that same process. And you get a handoff from somebody like Lynn or your director at your company. And what's the first thing that you do?
I think the first thing that we do is, of course, we get great feedback or information from Lynn that really starts us off, and we actually start on a really proactive. And so the thing that is so important is we contact our clients just as quickly as possible. And then the good thing is that we put our Mickey Mouse ears on and we listen. We listen to everything that they want to tell us. We listen to why they want to be in a good school district. We would listen to what type of house they want. And then we listen to what their wants are, and we listen to what their needs are. And sometimes that's really difficult, but we try and give them everything that we can within their price range.
And it is tough sometimes that they may have a need, but it's a want and vice versa. When you have somebody who has 3 kids, you probably know that you need 4 bedrooms.
Right.
And but you may want a 5th bedroom or a study or something like that. So the physical setup of the house is very important to them, things like that. And of course, we've heard a common theme is that schools are number one. Is that usually a question comes first?
I think once they have kiddos, of course, that is one of the things that's going to be the major areas. Another is proximity to whoever's working's office. I think other things that are if they're doing different things or their likes, and we try and take all that into consideration.
You know, with the internet and things like and a lot of information available, do you find that people come in pretty well versed and educated as to Houston, or do they come in just kind of like, I'm lost?
No, people are amazingly smart and they're on their game, and our job is to be at their level or help them. We're there to work with them and get them as much as we can, and work as hard as we can with a limited amount of time that we have.
And typically what happens, you'll get a call on Wednesday, they want to start looking on Thursday, and they're going back home on Friday. Is that right?
Right. We're Superman because what we have to do is sometimes we're working 24 hours a day, and that's no joke. We're picking them up at the airport. We're going directly from there to look at the first house because they have a limited amount of time, and they are our number one priority when we're with them.
Yeah.
I have a question, and this is interesting because obviously in working with a lot of agents, I also work with a lot of new home builders. Mm-hmm. And so we see a lot of individuals nowadays that are coming in and they're deciding, you know what, I don't find the exact home I want. I'm going to build my home, right?
Right.
The one thing I have noticed, most noticeably, is the building process in the United States is so different than the building process abroad. How do you educate our international buyers as to what that process looks like? Because sometimes what I feel, and I see a lot, and you're smiling a little bit right there, is there's a disconnect, and they don't really understand how a builder builds over here. And on the other side of things, they want things to be done a different way.
Right. Well, what we try and do is interpret to them exactly, one, we want to get them what they want, and then we try and give them a realistic schedule of when they can expect to get what they want. Now, if that doesn't fall within the parameters that they need, then we'll try and go to a plan B. Maybe we can find, if we can't find a house that's not ready in 4 months, that won't work for them because their kids want to start school in a month and a half, and hey, they want to meet the neighbor kids, and we want them to meet the neighbors.
Right.
well, what we'll do is maybe let's try a lightly used house, or have we thought about?
We don't have used houses. We have resale.
It's lightly used. It's lightly resale. And yeah, we'll try and do that. But we do try and really, really listen to them. I think the main thing is just listening to them and try and find exactly what they want.
Oh, I would absolutely agree. And we're laughing about that because Rob always corrects us on certain vernaculars that we use in the studio,
well, I've
right?
got Chris saying realtor correctly.
Like he has me all educated on realtor, by the way.
Thank
you.
you.
But the other thing was a used home.
Don't have used
So I'm always a big fan of promoting the idea of using experts in their area. One of my pet peeves is getting a card from somebody and they point out, that don't use that information. That's that's where I sell noni juice and that's my dog walking telephone number. Call me on this one. This is my expert card on this.
You've corrected that then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, you just said you're really not good at any of those things, is what you just told me. So on that note, right? As a realtor, if I'm hiring somebody, what is there a defining point as a relocation expert versus a buyer's agent or anything like that? Why would I call you over somebody else?
I think the main thing the reason that you would want to call us is because, well, first of all, we're vetted. We're proven performers. We're top producers. That's the only type of realtor that you're going to get. Because of that, we're experts in what we do. We know exactly when the house came on the market. We actually know houses that may not even be on the market right now that we can point our clients to. And because the company has such a web of information, we're able to give them things that a lot of other companies aren't able to give them. But I think one of the things that's the neatest thing is that I'm a realtor as far as myself, and I know that there's a lot of people just like me, is that I'm a relo brat myself. My dad was in the Air Force. My husband is in an oil company. And so people go, well, where have you lived? And I always say, where haven't we lived? So I think a lot of the relo agents have empathy as far as they've gone through the exact same experiences. They know that when they list their house, there's little tricks that we can help them with. They know that when we have buyers, we've got lots of tricks to help them find the best deal, get things going fast.
Tell me what those tricks are.
Oh, okay. Well, some of the
without giving away trade secrets.
I think as far as a serial mover, one of the things that I've learned is when we've relocated in the past, one of the things that we've always done is kept current. And what that means is we always tend to purchase houses that they look good, but we have to make sure that we keep them good all the time. So we're always tweaking. We're always adding a new paint color. We're keeping up with our countertops. We're redoing the bathroom. And not only does that help us enjoy the house more, but when we go to reload that house again and we're moved to the next spot, we're getting more top dollar for the house as we're selling it. So it kind of helps. So that's one thing that we can do. And as a buyer, when you're coming in, one of the things that you can do is be very savvy. And buyers now are super savvy because they're on the internet, they're on their game. And so what we have to do is say, okay, we know that we want the school district, but is the gymnastics close? Where are the soccer fields? We've got to know everything that they're interested in, and we pride ourselves on that. Where are the private schools? Where's the churches? How's Hanukkah? Where's multilingual? Especially in the Woodlands, we have such an international clientele coming into the city. And so what we need to do is be able to focus not only what's good in Texas, but what's good in the world.
It's really interesting. But, I always have a saying about, they can get the information, but they cannot get the experience. That's where we come in. We have the experience of how to interpret the information they're seeing. And so talk about some of the fierce conversations that you have to have. They've looked at the internet. They think they know some stuff, and you have to say, no, that's not really accurate. Mm-hmm. So you get in situations like that because, you can cross a line in some areas, and the prices will drop precipitously.
Right.
And so how do you have that conversation? I know you saw this, but this is really how it is.
Ultimately, it is the consumer, ultimately is the purchaser who makes the choice. Our job is to provide them with the most current information. They make their own decision. What our job is to help them make the best decision that they can make. And we do that by providing comparable sales. We do that by providing all the information that we can feed to them that's in the area. And so that way they make their own choice. Now, there may be ideas outside what we don't know about. And so they may want to go to certain areas. They may like the restaurants around there. They may want to be close to the airport. Those are things that may be important to them. But if we're smart and if we're good realtors, we've already found that out and we know ahead of time. So we're going to send them right around the corner.
Now, Cindy, one question I've got, and this is maybe, I don't know if it's an opinion of mine or not.
Right.
But one of the things, because I work with a lot of international clients as well, one of the things I perceive and I see from our international clientele is they tend to be, number one, more apt to listen to professionals like ourselves, but they also seem to be more well-versed sometimes into coming in because they're coming into a new country as to all the things that are going on versus somebody who's stateside who tends to think they either know it all or doesn't want to utilize the help of professionals. Do you sense that same thing, generally speaking, on the international relos or anything like that?
You know, on our international relos, a lot of times if they're coming to the States for the first time, they're anxious. And so what we want to do is listen to what they're saying. And then if there's some discrepancies, what we want to do is discuss that with them and say, this is something that you may have heard in the past, but now in the future it may have changed. Or this is how it is in the present. So we try and work through that. But yes, a lot of times we have to deal with that.
Selfishly motivated question alert here. Do you find that if you're working for someone moving in from an international market, do you get many questions related to credit and how they establish credit or build credit?
Yes, and I think that is so important to work with them with a great mortgage officer, work with them with a great mortgage company. And so one of the things that we can do is we have preferred people that we are interested, that are used to working with international clients, and they are well-versed in helping them.
Outstanding. Well, Chris is obviously an expert in mortgage. If you ever need any expert credit advice, feel free to call Improve My Credit USA. I happen to know that they're a great company.
I would agree. Excellent company. On the
You heard me getting in my shameless plug, so you thought you'd get yours in too. Wow. Well, Cindy, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, it would be great. You can give me a holler on my cell. Then you can look on the website of this wonderful, wonderful television program.
Or a radio program.
I just said television. Well, that'll be bleeped out.
We have hidden
We know it'll all be bleeped out. Yeah. On the radio program.
Next the world.
That's right.
First radio, now television.
There we go.
You know, but we are having a great time as usual, but time does fly by when you're having fun. We're up against the break right now, so everybody remember you can call us at 800-808-5548 if you have any real estate questions. Otherwise, we'll be right back.